step out of this whole. I'm not part of either group, or I'm just standing out. I'm just, my point of view. I'm looking at it from just a outside's point of view, not being part of any group and not comparing. Oh, if I would have been one of these people doing this, what would happen to me? So I'm stepping out, right? So now I have to think about this from this point. When the fuck has an election been a fucking real? When has it been a fair? When the fuck has there even been a fair election? Because we could go back to when fucking Kerry, talking
about Bush and
fucking Gore.
Gore, yeah,
right. That was like fucking obvious. Like, I mean, to me, it's just, I don't, this shit doesn't really make any sense to me as far as like the it being a genuine election, right? So looking at it from that standpoint, it's like, why wait till now to get upset about some shit that's been happening for years upon years? Secondly, now I do agree with. So this is one thing I do agree with about this whole thing. I feel like if you are upset about what the power structure is that's so-called doing, yeah, run up in that bitch. Like, I know that's unpopular right now to say, but it's like, yeah, you said BLM was walking around, yeah, it's peaceful. Fuck that peaceful shit. When has that ever worked?
It's never worked.
When has it ever worked?
When has violence ever worked, though? It hasn't. It hasn't.
I mean, sometimes.
It really hasn't, bro. And
you think about it. Wrong. Sometimes peaceful shit has worked too, but
Malcolm X is a prime example of that. He was like, hey, I'm all about peace, but if somebody get up in your face, you got the right to drop them. You got to protect you and yours. He got killed still. MLK, peaceful guy. He got killed still. It doesn't matter what we do, we gonna get killed. We can't be peaceful. We can't be violent. They just want us to be, they just want us to be just there. That's how I feel about it.
Well, to me, so if you think that death is pretty much what's gonna come out of it, regardless. Would you rather die on your feet than with your head in the motherfucking sand?
Well, I'm gonna be, on my feet from a distance. I let the first wave go in there. But let's see how it worked out for them.
Thirdly, so I'll give you my 2 points, right? So this is my third point about looking at this from an outsider's point of view. Thirdly, bringing back up how when BLM was at certain places, how they were, met with military force, right, as a threat. Now, to me, the simple fact that they know that this was happening, to me, is like the biggest mind fuck of everybody, right? Because it does cause for this, like, oh, if that was us, man, we would have been fucked up, and blah, blah, blah. But then, you know what I mean? Then it further drives its ways into the divide, right, in this motherfucking country. Right? While the power structure is still thriving, like the same, like it's so funny because we all hate the power structure, right? But it's the same power structure that we give power to. And then like when we want, when we want them to BS, we're for the power structure isn't that bad. But then when it's against us, it's bad. You know what I mean? So it's like at the end of the day, to me, it's still the same power structure. You know what I mean? And they're still going to eat, like I'm saying, like they're just thriving off of our two-dimensional mindset of good or bad or bad or good or black and white, you know what I mean, and blah blah blah. Just this perpetual.
So you're saying that pretty much they're creating a problem amongst ourselves.
Yes.
So then we don't focus on who's in control.
Bingo.
I've been saying that for the longest, bro.
Bingo.
I've been saying that for the longest. I'm like, it's not they're making it.
No, I think a lot of people think that, but it's very unpopular to say that because if you're not for this cause or for that cause, you're a bad person, or you're a seller, or you're a coon or some shit. You know what I mean? And it's like those words carry all this, like those words are like, damn, I ain't that, but I'm looking at it just from a grand scale, and yes, I'm for this as well, but it's like you still gotta understand your enemy.
You know
really,
what?
You know what I mean?
That kind of brings us back to that topic that we had when we were saying, like, if we're not happy with the government who is working for us, why is it that we can't take them out of power as
exactly?
People? I remember when I had said that, and now it's just like, okay, like we just seen, it like this is what could potentially happen. So it's like the longer this is going on, the more and more closer I feel like we're getting to that, to where it's gonna be like, yo, fuck it, we just want to pull them out.
We have to just if we really want change. It's not gonna be, you know what I mean. We're not just wake up and it's just gonna be kumbaya. It's like, and this is just like, okay, there's obviously like the whole America, right? And how, like, it's like, obviously, you don't get it twisted. I'd rather live here than most places in the world. You know what I mean? Because it's way more fucked up shit. Now, we're heading that way with all these restrictions and all this shit. We're pretty much baby China right now on its way to becoming just like China. But
that censorship.
yeah, well, it's like, yeah, well, you can't, like, they're pretty much going to start implementing, they're already censoring shit on the internet. They're going to start implementing censorship when you can't even talk about or go against the government. I guarantee you, it's on its way.
Yeah.
They're walking us into this cage. Like, oh, let's bang this carrot right here, so that way we can get them over here to we're going, and then shut the motherfucker up.
I feel you on that.
So that's exactly what's going on, and like everybody always has to find somebody to blame.
Yeah.
And so it's like you said, if you're not with us, you're against us. You're the bad person. It's the same thing with politics. It's like if you're not a Democrat, then you're a Trump supporter. You're not a Trump supporter, you're a Democrat. There's like 4 different like things you could technically be, but at the same time, the biggest thing people are actually looking at is red and blue. So everybody there had red hats. They were all with the Trump flags and things like that.
Bacon.
Regardless of what they were actually there for, you wouldn't know unless they actually said it. Some people actually said, "Oh, we're there because." Some people were there in Trump hats saying, "Well, I'm going just support because there was a miscount on the vote or whatever, so I'm going to make sure try to speak my piece and let them know they need to make it right."
Right.
But at the same time, he has to make America great again hat on. So at the same time, as general people, we look at it as, okay, he's a Trump supporter. He's going simply because they're there, which may be the case as well. But you don't necessarily know until you actually hear what they got to say. And that's another thing, is that we don't give people the chance
not anymore
to say what they got to say.
Because we're all everything's based on the court of public opinion now. And you know how they say you're pretty much guilty until proven innocent, or versus you innocent until proven guilty. It literally is in the court of public opinion. You're guilty until proven innocent. You know what I mean? So it was like you can't even have your own opinion now because you're going to be immediately judged.
Everybody has an opinion of your opinion.
Yeah, and if you don't fall in line with this and that, then you're, you know what I mean? It's just like, wait though, I get what you're saying, but what you're saying is not even 100% accurate, or even on the opposite, it's not even 100% accurate. So it's just like, let's still figure out what who's pulling your strings, who's pulling my strings. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's just, but when you have something like this on a high caliber, like nobody, like, we marched because people die and stuff. They were pretty much there because they were upset with the results, correct?
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is how when we march for when people die, more people die from that march. Like something ends up happening. Let's go back to what happened when
if somebody socked you in the face, what you gonna do?
Stomp you the fuck out.
Okay.
But check this out. No, I got a point. I got a point though. When we were marching and everything, did we not have people who were with the BLM movement come in, infiltrated, start riots and shit?
That's Antifa.
Correct.
With Antifa, which is which is pretty much like the.
I didn't think it was them. I thought it was somebody else.
No, it's Antifa.
Is it?
Yeah. Who the one started all the looting and started breaking shit?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was somebody else, if I'm not mistaken.
There's too many fucking groups.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. So many goddamn group names. I'm losing track of them. You got Proud Boys.
Infiltrated, you know what I mean?
All that. It's just like, but I'm just saying, like, when we try to march peacefully, why is it that we got people that's undercover coming, causing chaos for us, causing people to get shot, taken to jail, but when they do something on their own, nobody really gets taken to jail? You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, when we do something, a lot of people end up going to jail.
What do you mean, like we? Because are you associating yourself directly with BLM?
I'm talking about the black people, bro. Like us blacks. Like say
like
we're
only,
only. No, I'm just saying like
it's us only.
I'm saying like
because you.
Well, yeah. When it's just like the blacks, when we march or something, Like, say it was just no BLM, it's just blacks, just like, hey, we want to go march. And then we start going peacefully, and then somebody infiltrates the